Welcome back. We're glad you could stay with us. This is your home of unrivaled journalism. The attention of our investigations unit has been drawn to extremism within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We have learned, of course, with concern, that a little-known splinter group of the SDA has abandoned formal schooling and certain foods, terming them ungodly and worldly. This episode, Holy Betrayal, which we now title Seventh-day Extremism, follows the story of how one man's case may be a smokescreen to a more deadly and demanding tragedy. I am Brian OBUYA. NTV Investigates begins now.
Mid last year, we spent about 3 weeks in Kilifi County digging the story of Good News International Church. The church leader, Paul Mackenzie, had thrust the entire county and country into global headlines after it emerged that his followers had been convinced to die by starvation, that the world was coming to an end. A final duel between God and Satan had been set for April 15, 2 months earlier. Mackenzie had told his followers that after that big battle, Satan was going to rule the world for 10,000 years. So, it was better to fast and die than live in a world controlled by Lucifer. And with that, over 400 bodies of parishioners have so far been retrieved in a shameful exercise which the government has since gone silent about. 600 people are missing and families hope they won't have to bury their dead. Before then, there had been nothing like Shakahola. Well, many preachers, some of them would like to be called prophets, had lied many times that the world was coming to an end. So when I heard of these developments within the SDA church, we assembled a team. We went down to Rongo, Migori County to follow up this story. You see, Nyanza region is predominantly an Adventist region. SDA churches dotting every little space left. Sometimes you may wonder how many people one church accommodates. And so, these developments were so consequential in an area where almost everyone is a member of the Adventist church. Religion is one difficult topic to discuss or have people talk about. So while trying to piece together this story, so many people gave us their experiences with this newly found denomination in Nyanza, Kenya. But most would rather not go on record for fear of bad things befalling them. Now, a very weird and dangerous cult-like group is taking shape in Nyanza.
My daughter telling me about the type of stuff my son is watching, that it's bad, at 13 years old.
This is the story of Tom Michael Midamba. Midamba is a Mombasa-based engineer. His wife, who apparently in police statements and all of a sudden refers to him as just a friend, is a teacher at Kanga School, a head of department who, over the last 6 years, has taught students to unimaginable academic success.
I have part of my family in Rongo. We have 2 kids. A time came when after my firstborn daughter finished her school, that is class 8. After doing her exam in around October, end of October, she went to a town without my permission, of course, I only came to realize from a phone contact that she's not with the mother after doing class 8. So she went to a town called Narok, and she went with a lady called Pauline Obo.
Pauline Obo was a missionary of sorts who had attended a church where Midamba and the family worshipped. Midamba's wife and Pauline's friendship grew stronger to the extent that she started to stay in their Rongo home.
My daughter is the one who called me that, "Daddy, do you know where I am?" That is in the month of November. "I don't know. I'm in Narok." "Okay, what are you doing in Narok?" The curiosity started building. So she told me she's with Mommy's friend called Pauline Obo. "Okay, so what are you doing in Narok with her? Was Mommy aware that you are leaving and going with her?" I said, "Yes." Mommy was aware. So the next question was, "What are you doing in Narok with her?" That we are on a mission. "Which type of mission?" That we are being taught about missionary work, so that when I grow up, I am supposed to take this as my main career in life. I said, "Missionary work." "Okay, so what are you doing in that missionary work?" "Oh, we are being taught Bible and other things like eating, the type of foods you're supposed to eat. And of course, she's the one who teaches us and other children." "Okay, okay, fine. So how long are you going to be in Narok?" "I don't know, maybe for second week or third week, but I don't know." My wife called me the following day. I told her, "My daughter told me about where she is, and I would like you to confirm if she's in Narok with your friend called Pauline." I said, "Yes." "So why did you release this child without my consent, or even sharing with me, or even telling me something, or suggesting to me that this child is supposed to travel?" "No, I was going to tell you about this. But fine, now you've known, that may not be the main issue. But this child, I didn't want her to mingle up because she has done class 8, and I didn't want her to just roam around here doing nothing. She's going to be spoiled."
That was then. The wife's response appeared to convince the husband that the holidays were long and the little girl might get lost in bad things. Like many parents do, it was important to keep the girl busy.
Come end of November, we were chatting. Sometimes she could reply, "I want to know the status of Noel, and I want to know what is happening." The chats which she had was like, "Noel is feeling cold, please send money, I can buy boots." The next, like, "Can you add a sweater?" The next was like, Noel is supposed to be going for, those are the chats on WhatsApp. Noel is supposed to go for a VBS, that is Vacation Bible School. Can you pay for it? So after this Narok thing, you're telling me that she's supposed to go to Vacation Bible School. I said, "Okay, fine, I'll pay for that Vacation Bible School, but where will it be and when?" She could not clarify that. She told me that it's in December. Now, end of November, come a time when my daughter is supposed to be back. I kept on pressing, "When is she going to be back?" You know, like we tally up. My son was turning 2 years on 4th of December. So I said, "I'm not coming in end of November. I want us to tally the birthday so that we can celebrate his second birthday." So like, give me a timeline when she's coming so that we can also join and give her some reward or gift because she has done well in her KCPE. Said, "Okay, I'll tell you." When I kept on reminding her, "We won't be home. We are going to Bungoma." "Okay, so Bungoma to do what?" "No, I'm going to visit a friend." "So you're not coming to Mombasa over the holidays to visit? I mean, to be together with me?" "No, not necessary. I'll be going to Bungoma and then to Kilifi." That was done in text, WhatsApp text. I said, "Okay, fine." So, like, I did a follow-up. "When is she coming back?" She told me she'll be home over the weekend. That is on one of the weekends towards the end of November. So you can talk to her when she comes home. What happened, the wife decided to switch off my calls, like blocking my calls. So the only mode of communication was on WhatsApp, okay, but not ordinary calls. So I said, now my wife is going underground, or maybe I've done something bad to her, so she has decided like to cut me off. But the main thing was the story of this lady called Pauline, which made us to cut links on communication. The only communication was that WhatsApp. And then I told her that then I'll send money for the birthday in case you won't be there, because that we want to be at home on 4th of December. So I'll go to Migori, and then Migori is where the dad or the father-in-law is. I'll go to Migori, and then after Migori to Bungoma, and then to Kilifi. So who is in Kilifi, you know, like on text? There was no answer towards that, like just Bungoma friend, okay? So what I did, she asked me about the money for the birthday. I had sent that money, or that is through M-Pesa. Okay, I have the records for that. After that, I kept on, like 4th came in. What are the preparation? Can you give me the pictures of those kids? She went mum on that. I could not see the pictures. You know, as usual, like when you are far, you expect your family to take pictures, photos, and then send you. There was nothing. She kept off from that story. The only thing she could ask me, I want a rent. They've asked for the rent, that rent for Rongo. I decided to send that money. The next thing was, I want you to help me file the wealth declaration for the teachers. You know, it's the civil servants. It's always after every 2 years. So time had come. Text me and told me, no, Mapema is the best. Please file for me.
Just like in Said Mohammed's Utengano, when Bwana Maksudi's household comes down tumbling, the divorce with his wife and the scattering of his children, Musa and Maimuna, this was the beginning of a stormy split inside Midamba's home. But the worst was yet to come.
Okay, I'm doing what you want. I'll send you the rent, I've done, I'll do the filing, but what about my kids? Can I even see their photos? And if you did a birthday, where is the birthday present or the cake which you baked for these kids? She did not reply me on that. So what I did the wealth declaration. There was no any other communication. That I'm talking about 10th of December. She decided now to put me off, including the questions in WhatsApp. Blue ticking, but no answering. How is Noel? How is Jess? Blue ticking, no answering. So I decided, okay, fine. If this is what she wants to do, if this is the trend, let me also now relax. This child will need money to go to Form 1. I know she will call me. The rent will be needed. She will call me. There's no need of pestering her. So I decided now to keep off.
But the Mombasa-based engineer was not called, not for the rent and not for school fees. There was no communication between him and the wife. These were troubling happenings, and according to Midamba, he had to leave Mombasa for Rongo.
It came on to be tricky, more trickier than I thought. I kept on pressing the family, find out what is happening, because me, I was in Mombasa and it's far. Now I decided now, if I cannot get the right information, now I even now talked to the dad. The second week, I don't know where my child is after the reporting of Form 1. I have to travel. So I came to Rongo on 29th of January, that is 2024. Before I came, I called my neighbor just to confirm if she's around and the kids are still missing. They told me the kids are still missing, the kids are not there. Of course, you cannot hide a small kid. This is a kid who normally walks around the compound and doing everything. So I said, okay, fine, let me come. So I alerted even my father-in-law that I'm coming. When I came, I arrived in the morning. I went to the children's department because now it seems my kids are missing. So what I did, I went to the children's department in Rongo and asked for a direction. They told me you have to go and register an OB and then you come back to the children's department so that we can give you a letter to take to your wife. So what I did, I went and registered an OB at Rongo, Kamagambo. It's called Kamagambo Police Station. Okay, it's in Rongo. The OB number 19/29/01/2024. 2 missing kids was the title of that OB.
It was that police report and a subsequent social media campaign that drew the attention of this investigations unit to this wave of improved Seventh-day Adventist teachings. A joint police investigation between the DCI Rongo at Kamagambo Police Station and their counterparts at Bungoma Police Station began. For about 4 days, assisted with phone data analysis, Tom Midamba and DCI officer Joseph Payani in Bungoma painstakingly walked door to door, half of Bungoma town's rental apartments, looking for his children and wife. The investigation had shown that the teacher, 2 women and 3 children had rented a house in Bungoma town. On the morning before police could smoke them out, they left.
The landlady. And I told her, the people we are looking for, the person we are looking for has some link in Rongo. Was she staying with anybody? Yeah, there were 3 kids in that house. Okay, if I show you the kids, the pictures of the kids, will you identify? Yes. I gave her the first picture of my daughter, Noel. She recognized, yes, I know this lady, this girl. In fact, today I didn't go to work, and yesterday I was with this girl here. The lady narrated like they came here in the month of December and they've just been staying here up to January, and this morning when they left, I had an issue with the lady. So I asked her, where is the did she sign a contract? You know, like it came into my mind again. I want to find out if my wife is the one who signed that contract for that house. I said, yeah, it's Fresh Ramola who signed.
While at the house, Midamba had gone for the dustbin.
In my own thinking, I was looking for any trace of food because I wanted to know whether my kids have been eating, you know, like leftovers. So that was what came into my mind. I failed to find that. I only saw the Pampers, and then I found a booklet written the name of my daughter, Noreen Noel. It's a church booklet, drawing booklet where you color, like the pictures of Jesus, what you color. It was a colored book. This book, I'm the one who even printed and brought it to Rongo. So they traveled with it to Bungoma. So that was a very good sign that these people must have been staying here.
Police had established that Midamba's wife, a teacher at Kanga School, 2 other women, Frastromola and Pauline Obo, were on and off the mobile networks. But they were finally traced in Eldoret and later Narok. Once or twice making trips between these 2 places, reportedly after the heart of God. For over 1 month, the teacher did not report to school.
It may never be known what really went through the mind of the senior teacher, but when she walked out of this gate, sometime at the beginning of January this year, she never reported back. Now that disappearance appears to be opening up a whole case about one of the strangest cases of religious extremism here in Rongo, Migori.
Within that month, police had been doing a lot more to arrest these women and at least understand the mystery of the God they served. It was not until detectives threw in a plan to trap Midamba's wife that she emerged. Through the landlord of her apartment, she was told the husband was set to vacate the next weekend, which was 2 days away. With that information, the missing teacher and her father had arrived at the Rongo house with the missing boy to vacate. Police pounced on them. For the 13-year-old,
a lady friend who is a teacher in Homa Bay. So this lady, who had also seen it in social media, called me at 2. Like, Baba Noel, you know, like at 2, you know, when people are sleeping. Baba Noel. Mi naona Noel hapa, Narok. Kwani kuna nini inaendelea? Namuona, wacha nimfuate. There were 2 ladies from Nairobi and they were coming back to Homa Bay. At night, 2 a.m. in Narok. Okay? she's calling me, talking to me, and chasing the girl. Noel, kuja hapa, nataka kuongea, we njoo hapa. I said, okay. So I could hear the conversation. Of course, I recorded the conversation too.
NTV is in possession of the 15-minute dramatic phone call during the capture of the couple's teenage daughter.
Yeah, ninaongea na Noel, umesikia sauti yake?
Yeah, ndio, ni Noel.
She's Noel. She's
Yes.
Noel, yeah. She's Noel, but she's in uniform. So it's true anaenda shule. She's in uniform. But this is Noel. Nimeshaambia watu she's a lost child anatafutwa. Sasa huyo mama amekuja na yeye. Amehepa na yeye kabisa. Sijui ameenda wapi. But bag iko hapa. I can do a photo of the bags. Bags zao ziko hapa.
Mpaka ya huyo lady.
Nilikuanga ni bag ya Miriam ilikuanga papo na green. I don't know whether you can remember the bag. But let me do a photo of the bag. I wish ningefanya.
Do it. Miriam ingeno say yodi. Omake enegi ne police.
Mtoto ana travel on, mtoto ameshakatiwa tiketi ya easy coach.
Kwenda wapi?
Alaka wa watu. Ndiye anamkatia, ameshalipa pesa, bag yake pia iko hapa. Sasa sijui mimi nitapata polisi wapi washike huyu mtoto. But I'm traveling to Migori. Ninapokea gari ya gala.
Where is that?
Ah?
Where is that?
It's in Nairobi.
Nairobi.
Yeah.
When did you join that school?
It was in 23rd of, I don't know, January, 23rd, 24th, I don't know.
Okay. Were you on after mama mlikuwa mnatoka wapi?
Midterm.
Midterm. Na huyo mtu ulikuwa naye ni nani?
Teacher Priscilla.
Priscilla. Ni teacher wa wapi?
Mimi namwitanga tu hivyo tu.
Okay, na alikutoa wapi?
Inakaa root. Alikuwa huko Narok kwa rafiki yake.
Kwa rafiki yako? Na alikuwa anafanya nini huko?
Sijui.
Naye amekupata wapi?
Si amenipata tu.
Na ulitoka Nairobi lini? Ulitoka Nairobi lini?
Si leo.
Na ulikuja na nani?
Si peke yangu.
Peke yako? Na huyu mwalimu ulimpata wapi?
Mimi nimekuja hapo kwa hizi coach, nikapigiwa na Efi, akasema nikifika Rongo ananichukua alafu ananipeleka kwa babu.
Na ndio nakuuliza, huyo Narok ulienda kufanya nini kama ulikuwa Nairobi?
Huyo mwalimu wa hiyo shule hakulipa pesa yote. Sasa nilipa gari yenye inakuja inafika Narok, na tena nachukua nyingine Narok ndo ninaenda Rongo.
Mwalimu wa hiyo shule yenu ama shule gani?
Hiyo shule yetu.
Na huyo mwalimu principal anaitwa nani?
Mamoli.
Mamoli. Na huyu teacher alijua unakuja hapo kivipi? Huyu teacher umekutana naye Narok?
Si aliambiwa.
Aliambiwa na nani? Aliambiwa na nani?
Na Mamoli.
She managed to grab the girl. Noel, unafanya nini hapa Narok? Unafanya nini? She did this to the other lady whom she was with in Narok. I didn't know that lady. So the girl, like, ebu ongea na baba yako, unafanya nini hapa? Gives me, hello, daughter, what is happening? Where are you? I'm in Narok. What are you doing in Narok? No, nimetoka shule na tuka kuja kupanda basi. That is what that lady did. That is how I found my girl.
Even with his children and wife found, it was not the end of the problem. We visited Rongo Success Academy, where the management has lost at least 6 pupils to some weird Christian teachings linked to the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Several teachers here at Rongo Success Academy have admitted to losing so many students to these sects. Now, many of them have refused to go on record. Actually, all of them have refused to go on record for fear of the consequences that follow it. You know those things about institutions and their owners. They don't want to go on record about the issue of those students and what has been happening. But close to about 5 of their students have disappeared, come back to school, and disappeared again.
Now, you must remember how we began this story by a recap of how Shakahola tragedy unfolded. I'm asking you to remember that because the teachings of the church, said to have been started somewhere in Nyawasume, Rongo, have very clear similarities to what Mackenzie taught his followers. They are challenging formal education and now believe in learning at home. They believe in strange aspects of fasting and foods they think are Babylonian, whatever that means.
I'm an SDA by religion. I have a different feeling that the teachings which are in this church, not SDA, this is not SDA. And if it's SDA, it's offshoot. They don't want to be identified. Like their teachings are underground. They are not open. They keep on changing their numbers. You cannot find exactly where they are and who they are worshiping and the type of their worship. When it comes to food and dressing, they are funny. My wife changed her system of dressing. One, short hair. She used to plait. She decided not to plait, just to keep her short hair. On dressing again, she is using long clothes. In another place, I discovered that she burnt all her trousers. They are not supposed to watch TV, like news or anything happening there, not even to use a radio. When it comes to food, there's a lot of fasting. And they are very particular in terms of food they're using. They don't actually eat meals in the evening. They only eat in the morning, and come evening they don't eat. Even the young boy, I was told that the young boy was drinking only cold things.
I wasn't the only one concerned by the developments in the Adventist church down in Rongo. In the course of our investigation, I realized that someone had made a long post on a former Jomo Kenyatta University Seventh-day Adventist WhatsApp wall. That person was Mr. Duncan Onyango, a lecturer in the Faculty of Chemical and Biological Systems Engineering at the Technical University of Kenya in Nairobi. The post was about Midamba's family and the introduction of questionable teachings within some SDA churches.
The reason I was not so surprised about it is because it's something we have come across. Yeah, in the university environment where I work, there is something that is not new. Yeah, in the university environment where I was a student before, we have had similar cases. In my own home, I have also had similar cases in drawing from the local church where my parents attend. So I wasn't as much surprised as somebody who is hearing it for the first time would be, because it's something that is a reality that is now happening. And not only within, maybe the surprising thing is that people now hear this within the Adventist church, but the issue of religious radicalization is something that cuts across. We've seen Shakahola, we've seen these other cases, but now maybe what surprises people is that now they also see this within the Adventist church, and now they are seeing it it's becoming more prevalent, and the impacts are more pronounced than what used to happen before. We've had cases of Reformed Adventists even before, people who call themselves Reformed Adventists. They believe in some extreme, what people may call extreme teachings. Some people may brand them as offshoots, but it's been something that is contained within the church. It's just been happening internally. But now we're seeing it's coming to the limelight because it's now happening. It's more prevalent. Many more people are falling victim to it. And it's now getting to the public domain that it's something that is happening across, and no church, no particular congregation is safe it can also happen even within the Adventist church, where you are, like the story you are highlighting.
Still in Rongo, I took the questions about this newfound light to a pensive and evasive Charles Nyakure. He is the president of the Ranen Conference. In SDA, that should be the pastor of pastors, the highest level of consultation within Rongo and churches that fall under him.
We have schools, full primary school. We have secondary school, full secondary school. We have hospital, full hospital where the admission in inpatient are there and outpatient are there, and doctors. So we cannot conflict what we are doing. This group that you are speaking about, I've heard about it, but I've never connected with them. I don't know them.
Back at Kanga School, the entire establishment is shocked at the turn of events. What would make a celebrated teacher, trained to the highest levels of professionalism, acclaimed and praised in the entire education region, and one who has quickly risen up the ranks to become who she is, abandon work and lead a life of a certain unknown God?
Why my wife dropped, just decided to abstain duty because she's going to be a missionary. To me, that was a very strange thing. This is where an earning, even if you didn't like me, we've separated or whatever you call it, you are blocking me. But why do you desert duty that you are going to be a missionary? Honestly, how are you going to do your own upkeep? Who's going to supply you with the money? How are you going to feed these kids? To me, that was a strange thing. So deserting duty and then camouflaging, you know, you will not see me, you will not find me. And then blocking even friends, leave alone me as a person or as a husband. She blocked most of her friends from WhatsApp and calls so that you could not find her. To me, that was strange. So this thing is more than, it looks like devilish. Above it, the families who have broken because of this type of teachings. And then you don't walk openly, like you only use at night, evenings, and early mornings. So to me, that is something strange. My wife has been a very dedicated teacher. She's sharp. She was a head of a section. She knew what she was doing. And she's gifted, by the way. Sports lady, in teaching, she is a bright lady. And I was proud of her. But now, how this lady came and stayed with her and brainwashed her until she left her profession, it's a mystery to me.
We do our worshiping in churches, in public, and there are churches that are well built, well furnished. Yes, we fast and we have our days of fasting. Normally, it's stipulated in the calendar of events, and we plan for it when we are fasting. Fasting is biblical. When you go through the Bible, it's there, it's presented, but as a church, we organize the way we fast. Yeah.
And at this point, we had established that Frostro Mola, one of the three ladies who had rented the house in Bungoma, had just graduated from a college in Meru, having studied medical engineering. The father who spoke to our investigations unit and who is also a church leader within the SDA says the girl has since refused to pick her documents, certificates from the school. In fact, she did not go for the graduation itself. The father goes on to say that the daughter wants nothing to do with formal employment or education. She's on the run. The father hasn't set his eyes on her since.
I love Jesus because we first.
This is not the first time trouble is brewing in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Not so many years ago, and that should be around 2016-2017, the Jomo Kenyatta University's Seventh-day Adventist Church famously referred to as Kusda, was thrust in undertones of religious talks for their controversial teachings. So strong was the conviction at the Jomo Kenyatta University that so many students dropped out of university to follow their God. Years earlier, and why this interview with Dr. Onyango is very important, is that he was a member of Kusda at that time.
Yes, what happened in Kusda, which you have also cited, is that yes, there were just cases of people coming in, religious teachers coming in, and drawing the attention of our students to certain controversial subjects of beliefs and doctrines, and it went extreme. A good number of them dropped out of school from their university programs they were doing at 4th year, 5th year.
While the wave has been silent, it is yet not clear if those radical teachings stopped within the university setting. Duncan believes they have been mutating from one thing to another, one teaching to the next, one facilitator to another.
These things have been happening even during my time. I was in JKUAT between 2008 and 2013 majorly, but even during that time there were always some teachings. There were always some what they call new light that will always come in at a given stage in time.
Another section of the SDA had formed a campaign teaching about the devil and products attributed to the creature with horns. This largely gave birth to the misconstrued numbers 666 on barcodes.
They would read out they were even taught, they went to the extent of teaching them how to identify such products from the product barcodes. Yeah, you know, these products have those barcodes. People who have gone, who know what those barcodes mean, know how to interpret them. But to them, there is a way they would read out those barcodes and read out the numbers, and then they are able to tell you that this product is good, this product is bad. It was at that point when I realized that there is some strange thing that is happening. There must be, these people are feeding on some strange teachings.
There has been real concern about the emergence of these SDA offshoots, especially in universities, so much so that on March 31st, 2024, that is about 7 days before this broadcast, Adventist chaplain at Baraton University of Eastern Africa, Professor Ray Kesses, had this to say in his 32-minute sermon at the university.
Somebody starts a business of selling herbs, and then he realizes these herbs will not sell very well until you add God in the business. So you know, God said we go back to Eden. When you go to the hospital, it's not the will of God. And children are tossed back and forth. In this country, students have walked out of universities just before graduating to join a movement called medical missionaries, claiming to read writings of Ellen G. White, and they are far from anything that Adventism stands for. Adventism is their market, not their church. And we have lost people dead because of that. Be no longer infants who are easily conned by all sorts of glamorous teachings. Somebody comes up with a teaching and says Jesus is coming in 2022, the Elijah movement. The Bible clearly says nobody knows the day nor the hour. When you are an adult, you don't even give that a second thought. But too many children buying into things, joining small silent movements inside the church. The remnant within the remnant, the church within the church. That we are all in church, but we are in a holier church than others.
Back to the 3 women and children in Rongo. The latest, as per Thursday, April 4th, 2 days before this broadcast, is that the couple's daughter has been enrolled at a government rescue center in Kisii by the Rongo Police Station Children's Office. The mother and father have been barred from visiting the girl to ensure full psychological recovery. The 13-year-old girl has confided in officials at the center that the new formation of the SDA taught them not to go to hospital. They should not take milk and food prepared by certain cooking oils. And then there will be no taking of meat completely. Imagine that. A bright girl who scored 353 marks out of the possible 500 marks in last year's KCPE is being counseled on the importance of school. The couple's younger child, 2-year-old son, is still with the mother in Rongo. Midamba's wife has yet to return to school at Kanga, where she served for 6 years, heading the Swahili department. And then in Mombasa, a fiery legal battle for the custody of the children is in the offing at the Mombasa High Court's Family Division. After weeks of being off radar, the 3 women have gotten in touch with NTV, seeking that we postpone the airing of the story to accommodate a response from them. We made an undertaking to do everything possible to interview them between Friday and Sunday, either online, on phone, or in person. But they declined, arguing that it wasn't the right time. With that, we were not guaranteed that they will be available at any other time. If anything, they couldn't even share their location.
So why would you think you are involved?
I think my friend called me, Miriam, and you talked to him, you talked to her, and you told her to talk to me concerning the issue. Yes.
Yes, she was yet to get back to me about your response, but I'm glad she told you about it.
Yes, she already told me about it.
And that was earlier this morning, right?
So was that interview over the phone? Was it to be over the phone?
I gave her the 3 options we had to have the interview.
Okay.
I told her we could come to wherever you guys are.
But we are not at the same place.
No problem. That one you can leave it to us. We can come to where you are and record the interview. We could record your interview online, or we could as well talk to you on phone. Those 3 options, whichever is convenient with you.
Okay.
Yes.
But all I can say is, as for now, before you interview me kindly,
yes,
whatever concerns me, when that time comes that you will interview me, I will tell you everything.
So when do you wish that we could interview between today?
I will between today.
Okay, just proceed. When do you think we could interview?
When I am ready, I will tell you the convenient time.
When you are ready to be interviewed.
Yes.
But we promise to run their version of the story when, according to them, the time will be right. They have all denied being in an offshoot of the Adventist Church, but not answered any specific question about the happenings in Rongo. Apart from a 1.5-hour long phone call denouncing everything that her now disputed husband said, Midamba's alleged wife has claimed that this is a marital problem between the duo and not a religious one. But she has not responded to the question of deserting duty for over 2 months. She also sent a message accusing us of being in cahoots with her alleged husband to fight her, further turning down our interview request by claiming she is not ready to be hurriedly interviewed. On the question of being in Bungoma, Midamba's alleged wife claimed that she had gone there with her daughter alone for a vacation.
Minus the power and leadership wrangles, Seventh-day Adventist Church remains among the top churches in Kenya. But with the latest formations within it, can the Sabbath folks overcome the tragedy associated with the radical religious teachings? Good evening.